Right.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome.
We couldn't have planned that. Are we in a band together? We must have worked that out.
You know what? We did play together once,
We
right?
did.
We did War Pigs together from start to finish and played the solo in unison, if I remember.
Oh, yeah, we did something. Oh, that's right.
That was Roy
We did do
Boyd's
something.
birthday.
Hey, everybody. Jimi Bell here. Welcome to another episode of Beyond the Strings. I'm here with my dear friend, right here at RHCTV Studios. Otherwise, there is a sign up there that says Jimi Bell Studios, but they got it covered. And I couldn't be happier. I got a really dear friend of mine, Scott White. Scott?
Hey.
Great. Why'd you put that pick in your mouth?
Had to get rid of it quick.
Anyways, he's a phenomenal player. His band's list, his career and everything is absolutely incredible. Hazard County.
Hazard County.
Yeah,
Yep.
so I knew I was going to mess it up.
Yep.
See, because I had it in my mind.
Everybody does. Everybody does.
Hazard County's an incredible country band. At monster players and that's really like his main thing. And of course we have the Metal Project, which we played together before.
Yes.
Right.
Yep,
We actually did a Beyond Purple and
we did Beyond Purple and Metal Project. I want to say twice, or maybe I think we did Wicked Gypsies one time with you guys.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah. We did do Wicked
So
Gypsies.
we've done several of those shows, and we only do like 2 or 3 shows a year for Metal Project.
And what the best thing about when we do Metal Project is I go up and sabotage Scott's amp because he plays so good that I wanted to. I unplug it, and he thinks he's having problems with his pedals. He's stepping around or whatever. Yeah. I'm a real bastard.
Well, you know, the competition, it's
brutal
heavy.
out there. But no, it's a real honor. Oh, tell me about your original project.
Yeah, so my original band is the Mercury
Seed.
Yep, the Mercury Seed, and we are about to release our 7th record in April or May. Yeah, band started in '99, but I didn't really get involved with them. I got involved with them in 2006 as a producer. Okay, and I tracked some background vocals for them. And slowly over the next record or so, I sort of fell into the band. And
did you start putting some of your things on it in the
studio? A little bit of
guitar?
The guitar player that actually brought me into the fold, he's the one who called me and said, hey, we need some help on this record. He ended up leaving the band, and I already knew all the stuff, so
that made sense.
Just slipped right in.
No, it's perfect.
And now we're on the eve of releasing our new record.
What type of music is it?
So it's straight up rock and roll. So we take a little bit from Aerosmith, we take a little bit from Black Crowes. We take.
Oh, I love that. Do you do any open tunings?
We do.
You do?
We do. So on the
So
last.
what is an open tuning? Everybody's asking. This is one of the things. What's an open?
Yeah.
So open tuning is so a lot of times what we do. I'll do it real quick because I have a guitar. I could do it. My favorite open tuning is what you would do, Rolling Stones, which would be Keith Richards, the open G.
Yes.
So basically, you're taking your A string and going down to a G.
There you go.
And then you actually take your E's. I won't do the low E because I'll never get it back.
There it is.
So with that, that's how you get, if you're going to play Rolling Stones songs, you have to do it like.
Yeah.
Right?
That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
That's the lick right there. Yeah, and there's nothing that sounds like those inversions of that chord with the open tuning.
when you do regular tuning on Rolling Stone songs like that, it doesn't sound like. I'm going to show you this one. This is my favorite because this one, you know, Brown Sugar going.
Yes.
Okay, so you're doing this. But then when he goes to here, he goes into this minor version that you could only.
Yes. Yeah, you could never do that.
You can't
get the bass note and that.
Right, it just doesn't work. Now let me see if I can tune back up.
So I also have to tell you, so on our last record, our lead-off song, Cat on a High Wire, was open G.
Yeah.
The riff is like unmistakable open G. Second track on the record is called X's for O's. It's in open E.
Oh, that's...
Okay. And your boy Mark Zito played keyboards.
Oh, did he? Oh.
Yeah, rest in peace. Yep.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So I got a record for you. I'll give it to you later. You can give it a listen.
Oh, wonderful.
So he put some amazing stuff on it. It just it's one of those things where
I'll have to let his sister know. She might not even know that.
Maybe not. I was having a hard time just sort of layering the guitars. Like I had a big canvas to put stuff on, and you get to that point and you're like, I don't know what I should put on it. And I talked to Mark. I said, dude, you want to put some keyboards on it? And he came up with a part totally unexpected that lifted it up tremendously.
I love keyboard. I mean, listen, if I was a good piano player or anything, I wouldn't even be playing guitar. I would, if I could play, Jerry Lee Lewis stuff, I would be doing that all day long. And I would play every song in the key of C like he does, and just,
Right. Well, you'd have work forever, right?
Yeah.
Because I remember growing up, guitar players, we used to say, guitar players are a dime a dozen. Everybody wanted to be a guitar player. But if you needed a keyboard player, I mean, you could not find him. You would beg somebody, well, he has a keyboard, so let him join the band.
Yeah.
It's
crazy. What seeing you brought that up, what are your opinion, like, back in the 80s and stuff, as far as the, when I came back around the scene from when the band I was up in Montreal and stuff, and I came back here, I was doing the whole shred thing, and that there wasn't many people that were doing that back then, and so it, I was able to build some kind of a thing, respect a name or something from doing that. He does this, but I look on the internet now and I see all these young players, like really young players that are absolutely destroying me, and it's like, and I just watched this video. I just couldn't believe it. There was a room full of these young Japanese kids, like over, and they were all in sync playing this shredding piece, like all of them at the end. You could tell each of them was not making a mistake. It was like boom, boom, boom. Absolutely incredible.
Well, when I was coming of age playing, like the guitar heroes were, for me, were Ace, right? Eddie.
Right.
And Randy Rhoads, right? And they were sort of, really, Eddie and Randy were sort of the pre-shred, right? They were fast and they had chops, but it wasn't until Yngwie came along, right? There's before Eddie and after Eddie. There's before Yngwie and after Yngwie, right? And then how do you get more than that? It comes into nuance, in my view, right? You got to do something that is different. It's got to be musical. If you've got the fire behind you, the chops, right? You can go anywhere.
Yeah.
But then it's time to differentiate and take the melodic, aspects of it. The tweaking of the tone, whether it be with the pick or the attack, right?
Yeah. Well, we were talking about that before the show started. Like different. I liked what you said was, you could play something through different amps and everything, but it's really the pick that will make a difference, like the thickness of the pick. Like when you had showed me this, and I said, you don't play with this real thin pick like this, and you go, no, it's just for certain things,
Right. Right. So I find like a thin pick when I'm tracking acoustic guitar, especially with a capo.
Yeah.
Right. And I love like my production technique for tracking guitars is my acoustic, I'm always putting a capo on it because I don't want to play the same thing my electric is, right? So it gets high tuned, capo, and a thin pick that creates a percussive effect.
Yeah.
Right? And you can hear that. And if you're doing it live, even through a Marshall stack, you're going to hear that change in attack.
Yeah, it does make a huge difference. I mean, it's so what do you, as far as, let's talk about your gear.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's talk.
I love gear.
I love gear. My God, I love gear. All right, so obviously you use different guitars for different projects.
Yes.
So let's before we go into Hazard County, let's talk about the metal project, because
Sure.
you had. If I remember, were you using a Les Paul for that?
I bring a Les Paul to that. That Les Paul is a borrowed Les Paul. It's a Les Paul custom, Black Beauty style.
Yeah.
Yep, I do that, and I usually use a PRS, custom
okay.
24 PRS, which is a super solid guitar. Stays in tune, has a bar, locking tuners, great humbuckers. Good solid middle. I could use it all night, stay in tune, and have a good sound.
I don't have luck with any tuning stuff unless it has some kind of a Floyd lock. I'm honest. I tried. I have a Strat with locking tuners,
Right,
the
right.
whole, and I hit the bar one, and everything's out of tune. It's like nothing.
Right, and you're chasing which string is it?
Yeah,
is it the B or the
I'm
G?
trying. It's no, they're just, all of them go so far out. It's just, I don't know what the problem is, but I think it's the players what the problem. But anyways,
Yeah, so I'll use the Paul Reed Smith is the mainstay. The Gibson will show up for a couple of things, and I might bring a Strat with hot rails. Right?
Oh yeah.
Because I can't use single coils in the band. It's just too much gain, not defined enough. And so, and then I use a pair of Marshall JTM 45s.
Okay.
And an overdrive pedal and a delay and reverb.
Yeah. So do you put the delay into the effects loop?
No effects. It's old school JTM, so they just go in the front. So I set the JTMs just before breakup.
Okay, so you
they're
can get
warmed.
you can get away with that.
Yes.
Yeah. When I use my my JCM 2000s, I'm using some of the front gain, not all of it. Just for a good Angus Young type crunch. But if I try to put the delay in the front, forget it.
Right. It's the old. Gets all like
you can't adjust
clanky.
it. No matter what you do. What about Mercury Seed?
So Mercury Seed, I can definitely use the JTMs for that. Much lower gain for that band. I'm never really playing clean, but it's like sort of AC/DC level, and then for solos, boosted up to a Joe Perry, Brad Whitford kind of level.
Cool.
But I'll use that or my rig for Hazard County, which is basically a Nobles overdrive or an OCD overdrive with matchless 212, which is like a Vox AC30.
Okay.
So
do you with that band, your original the original project Mercury Seed, are you doing any slide work?
I do a little bit, and it's not slide like Dwayne Allman.
Oh no,
it's like just more rhythmic slide to give it that flavor, because articulating the real slide parts live are a challenge for me.
Oh yeah, I'm a train. I do it in slow.
Slide it in, right?
Or, slow and easy.
Slow and easy, yeah.
Yeah, I'm using the slide, and I try to do the first part of solo a little bit. So I figured out a couple little safe passages with the slide that sound okay. This is good, but I mean, it's not like Derek Trucks or by any means. It's just like I'm just trying to. I'm trying to stay in tune, because a lot of people don't even realize that when you play slide guitar, you have to play on the fret. Right. It's not like playing a note where you play in the middle of the fret. You're playing on the the fret past it, and honestly, that gets to be a nightmare.
It is. Your vibrato is different. Everything about it, the whole approach is different. And if you set up your guitar to play fast, right?
Yeah.
Now you got low action, and you're just with the slide on the frets because they're so low, right? So it's not an easy task.
No.
And when you look at Derek Trucks is one of my favorite players, slide or otherwise.
Yeah.
He's such a master with that control. My slide playing would be probably a little bit closer to like a Joe Walsh.
Yeah.
Kinda, and I grew up on learning from Joe Walsh.
Oh, you did?
Oh, well, I mean, growing up in that era, like that's, Joe Walsh spoke to me. And, Jen and I have been to the Eagles a few times.
I'm very disappointed you didn't bring Jen. Matter of fact, when I didn't see her here, I was canceling the show. You could tell her. Well, she's probably going to watch.
She's a lot of fun.
She's a great girl. Yeah, and she sang.
And she sings.
She sings. So she actually has sang with Hazard County.
Yep. She sings with us.
And didn't I heard something that she sang that she recorded. She did some recording or something that she sang, and it was great.
Yes. So she and I, during COVID, we did a couple of things. We did something with Sue from Hazard County. We did Girl Crush, which is sort of like a duet thing that she sang on. We did, Jen and I did our own little country song. Not an original, but like.
I think that's what I heard.
Yeah,
it was you and her.
She layered harmonies.
Yes.
Fivefold, right?
Yeah.
So in college, she was in an a cappella group. So she is a schooled singer. She understands harmony. She helps me out when I'm writing at home, like coming up with harmony parts for my original stuff. She helps me. She guides me and says, you should try this or whatever. And then I was lucky enough to get her to sing on our upcoming release. She sang on 2 songs, mostly background vocals.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd like to hear that because honestly, that's the music that I really love is, Black Crowes and that type of, I could listen to that stuff. I'm not a metal guy by any means. I hate to say that because it's just, I'm a huge AC/DC fan.
Yep.
I mean, don't get me, I love Sabbath, and Deep Purple and all that. But, like when we do Beyond Purple, like my favorite stuff to play is actually the Whitesnake, and I'm such a huge Richie Blackmore fan.
Yeah.
But we do a lot of the commercial stuff of that
Right.
band, not the real deep stuff. But the Whitesnake stuff, I love doing the John Sykes thing.
Yes.
For as far as shredding stuff goes. But I'm just a rock guy. When I listen to some of that, the other metal, it's just.
Well, I have a hard time. Like I grew up on hard rock, right? And so I would call Deep Purple, Whitesnake is really hard rock.
Right.
Metal these days is almost a genre that I didn't grow up with, right?
Right.
And I'm not knocking it in any way because it's huge and it's super accomplished, but I don't relate to it. I grew up on the hard rock.
What was your when the 90s era came, I lost so much track. Like I love the 80s because the 80s, first off, I love the music, but what I loved about the 80s was that whatever singer was singing, you knew who it was. Like
Yes.
you knew who the band was.
Right.
And a lot of times the songs, when the 90s hit and the songs became very angry and aggressive, it was very hard to tell one band from another.
Yeah, for the real heavy bands, I would agree with. I mean, I could pick, Chris Cornell. I mean, he's a voice that
his voice. Yeah, I'm talking about I'm talking about the real like the that singing. I can't.
Yeah, it gets hard to differentiate it, and maybe it's because we're getting older.
I know I'm getting older.
And it gets hard to relate to new stuff, and one of the things that I wish I had more capacity for is to discover new music that I can relate with,
Yeah.
But it's hard because when you've got so much history of amazing music that you're familiar with, that's what I fall back to.
So what was, I did want to ask you your influences, and you didn't mention Joe Walsh. Who were some of your other early influences?
Well, so Ace Frehley is why I wanted to start playing guitar. And his solos spoke to me. Like to me, they were very lyrical, right? Not complicated,
right,
but lyrical, and I could remember them. But, so it would be Ace, Neil Giraldo from Pat Benatar.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
I love him.
Well, monster player.
I saw him when he was with Rick
Rick
Derringer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to see him at the Shabu in Willimantic.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
he was a youngster then.
yeah, real young.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he was great. Yeah, I always liked Neil. He's got a really cool style of playing.
Yep, absolutely. So he influenced me. Of course, Joe Walsh. And like I said, when Jen and I have gone out to see the Eagles in Vegas, we've been out a couple of times, and I hear Joe Walsh, and I'm like, oh, that's where I stole that lick. That's where I got that. You know, it brings me back. So
did you listen to him in James Gang at all? Did you go back?
No. I discovered him on Hotel California.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. So
because he did some great playing in James Gang.
Yes.
Like really, really cool. So you could see how he evolved, you know, especially
absolutely.
if you listen to that.
Absolutely.
That's really cool. You know what's funny about you and I? We actually have totally different influences. Like the guys that you mentioned, I have all the respect in the world for, but as far as players go, they weren't the players I listened to.
You were a big Beck guy, Jeff Beck?
No, I was Johnny Winter. Johnny Winter was my guy. Yeah,
Wow.
Johnny was the first guy, and I even loved, like, you know, I know people used to mock me for it back in the day, but I loved Grand Funk. I thought Mark Farner was great.
Yeah.
And I was always after a different thing when I first started. You know, when I first picked up the guitar, the thing that caught my ear was all the fast players, believe it or not. Like you couldn't guess that, but I mean, that's what really, like Johnny Winter was, even though he was a blues guy, he had a lot of fast chops, you know, so that's what really caught my ear. And then someone turned me on to Richie Blackmore, and then of course I started going, oh my God, you know, listen to Highway Star and Lazy.
Yes.
And then, you know, I heard all these other players, and then all of a sudden I heard Al Di Meola and John McLaughlin, and I'm hearing that style of picking, and I'm going, okay, I know what I have to do here. But my playing is, you know, I'm not a neoclassical player at all. I don't play, I know how to play harmonic minor scales and those, you know, diminishings and everything, but it's nothing that I use in my playing. I'm really, all my fast chops that I do are all pentatonic with flatted fifths and everything, all those runs. And it's,
that's a little bit of chromaticism.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And you know, I can definitely hear the Al Di Meola in you. And Al was, I wouldn't say he was a big influence. I had, you know, I guess, what was the record? Casino. And then he had the
Elegant
live
Gypsy.
one, Elegant Gypsy.
Yeah.
And those records really spoke to me because of the harmonic content, right? Having a little bit of a Latin influence with the rock and the jazz. Like I always knew that I could not get to the level of shred that would set me apart from other players, right? So I had to discover ways to be different, and I learned melodic ideas and different strong structure ideas, things that would take my playing and get it noticed because I didn't have the chops.
I get what you're saying. Yeah.
You know, and Al Di Meola was an influence on that with the harmonic minor and with some of the Latin influence, and you know, that was big for me.
The Casino album, I like that you mentioned that, because that to me is, I mean, Elegant Gypsy's got that Race to the Devil.
On the Spanish Highway. Yeah. Awesome.
I mean, that's just incredible. And of course, the first one, Land of the Midnight Sun, has the duet with Paco. Paco de Lucia, and but the real that Casino album, there's so much great stuff on that record.
Yeah.
And his whole technique really impressed me, because he was the first person that, you know, with the you know. The muting.
Yes.
You know, just really
amazing control, right? Because he could go from solidly picked sustained notes to muted notes, but it was all picked. Like he did very little legato.
No, he didn't. Yeah, he didn't do it. And I heard that the story how he developed that, he called it the mutola, is that he had to practice quietly, not to wake his parents. He practiced so much so that he would. You know, would do things like that.
Yeah.
Pretty funny. Gigs, what do you got?
Yeah, so Hazard County is playing Daryl's house on.
Great venue.
Yeah.
You've played there before?
No,
Oh,
it's going to be our first time.
Oh, it's great.
So that is next Wednesday.
The sound man is just simply incredible there.
Pete.
You will be thrilled with your sound.
Yeah, Pete used to run the studio for Daryl. Daryl had a recording studio over in Pauling.
Oh, right.
And Pete ran that for him.
Yeah.
And so we're excited for that. That's next Wednesday. Then we're up at the Button Ball Barn on the 21st, and back to Park City Music Hall in Black Rock on April 24th. So we have a fairly light schedule.
Do you have any of these projects you're involved with? Probably mostly Mercury Seed. Have you done any videos?
We did. So we've got a video for a song called Drug I Need from the last record that we're really proud of. We did that down in New York, and it's great. It's gotten a lot of views on YouTube, but it's literally our only thing on YouTube. We only have one video, so we're trying to get some more content on that.
No, that's, anything you could put out. The videos is the thing to do. It's pretty good.
Yeah. And then Hasco, we have our own YouTube channel. I've been mixing down our last show from Park City, and setting that to video that we had. We had like a 3-camera shoot for that, and those videos came out really good. So we're getting those out there.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I had such a blast when we played together. We did.
It was a lot of fun.
No, it was. I mean, Roy's
really
out
was.
of control. The things that he says on stage, I just don't even.
I know, he's just out of control.
And it's just, he gets away with it because he's Roy Oliver.
Well, so I've known him since I was 16.
Oh, you have?
Yeah, he's always been like that. He's always been, a decade of maturity behind.
The things he just, he would say to his mom while he was on the stage, I'm going like, nobody talks to their mother like this. It's just like, what is he?
Yeah.
It's just, and it's comical, but he gets away with it. So,
It is funny. Well, so when you and I did the first show we did together, I think you were Wicked Gypsies and I was Metal Project. And you and I had met before and chatted on friendly terms, but didn't really know each other that well. And we had done the show, and I'll never forget, the next morning I wake up and I get a Facebook message from you. And you said, Scotty, what a great show you played. And you gave me all these compliments, like out of the blue.
I remember.
And
I love that. I love what you played.
Floored. I was like, wow. Now, I've got the Joint Forces record. I do. I got the LP, from what,
85?
85?
86, something like that.
So I've been following you, since, forever. And to get that message, and it's one of those things that, you're like an ambassador to guitar players and musicians, really, in Connecticut, with your support of people. You're always engaging with people and giving them support and compliments and guidance, and you're open with your education. Like, you talk about different things, you put up these videos, you playing like these crazy hoedown things, and, talking about things that you're sharing with people. And it's really important because people, they learn from those who have cut their path.
I always, I appreciate that very much. That's very kind of you. It's one thing that I've always prided myself on is that I always make time for everybody. And then if I ever don't, and someone said, "Geez, I wanted to talk to you," I feel terrible because I miss that one person. But I always try to I'm always shaking hands every time someone. At the end. It's weird, it always happens basically at the end of the night when I'm, if I have to pack up my own stuff and I'm trying to get out, people are wanting pics. Hey, can you sign this? Can we do a picture? It's like, so I'm still very kind. Yeah, give me 1 second, trying to.
Yeah, it's tough.
No, and it's good though. It's fun. And, I've had a lot of guitar players, appreciate whatever, help I've given them and stuff. It's just, it's fun to give back, you know.
Yeah.
Listen, I've been, I'm 68. I've been doing this for, quite a while. And as a matter of fact, this is my first show back doing anything since my hand operation.
Yep.
So, it's like I had trigger finger. I had to get operated on. Where's the camera? Look at that. So,
Wow.
yeah, I had to have I've had it since for the last 4 years. Sometimes I wake up and couldn't open this, and then finally after I move it for a little bit and
Yep.
just give it a couple snaps, I'd be fine. And as long as I kept playing all day, things would be good. But then I knew I would have to make an appointment with my orthopedic surgeon and to get a shot of cortisone.
Yep.
And then I'd go off and do autograph shows for a good 4 months or whatever,
Yeah.
without anything. So it would usually last 4 to 6 months, a good shot,
Yeah.
But it was one of those things I started to feel that I needed to get it operated on and stuff. And so far it seems pretty good. I got a little bit of pain still. I could feel, what feels weird is balling a fist. I could feel a bunch of, you could feel something's heavy in there or something. But, that'll all go away hopefully. And
as my mother said, getting old ain't for the faint of heart.
no, it isn't. It's a tough thing.
It's a tough business.
Yeah. Well, I'm older than you.
A little bit.
Yeah. So it's like, but hell, look at man, we're still out there playing, doing what we love.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And
we got great women with us.
We do.
Yeah.
We do. Amazing women, and and they support. I know Mandy supports you.
Yeah, incredibly.
1,000%.
I don't know where I'd be without her.
Jen does the same for me, and hopefully we do the same for them.
Yeah. I think she gets a kick out of me. I don't know, Mandy. I think she looks at me and shakes her head. Oh, what am I doing here? No,
it's great. But I will say this too. Music is a wonderful thing to be able to still create at our ages, right?
Yeah.
Because, our parents' generation, they worked because they had to, and when they were done working, that was it. There was they didn't want to go back to the factory or go back to the admin job or whatever they were doing, right? But when we're done playing, we want to pick up the guitar the next day and keep working, maybe work on something else. Yeah. So it's a gift.
You know what, I'll tell you this before we close. I had, I'm kind of mental about guitar playing, so I'm not wired right. I would play a night, and in my mind, I thought I played terrible, and it would bug me so bad. And this was, early on, that I would go home and then go downstairs in the basement and practice after the gig to try and figure out what I was doing wrong. I would stay up to all hours, getting home, and that's when clubs were open at 1:30.
Right.
You wouldn't get home till 2:30 or whatever. I'd go in that basement and I'd start playing, trying to figure out what's wrong. What am I doing? That's
Right.
how obsessed I am about it. So any little thing, believe me, even just to get this done was freaking me out so bad because it could go either way. And I had busted this hand before.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the same sort of back in 1995, I had popped the wall. I wasn't, I was feeling a little good.
It was a rough time.
Yeah, I decided I was going to be cool. I punched the wall, thinking I'm going to put a hole in the sheetrock. And what I did was I hit the stud instead of the sheet. So I popped this knuckle back, and I go, I finally, go to bed, and I wake up not remembering exactly, and I wake up, I'm going, oh, my hand, So I had to go, and of course I did break the thing. I had to go to the same surgeon I've had since '95. I went to him. He took me in on an emergency. He sat me in this chair. He says, "Okay, hold on." So I held on. He took my hand and went. Pop, he pulled the knuckle back in, wrapped it in a half cast. So I had these two fingers wrapped, and I had these two fingers. I still practiced with these two fingers. I'm going, doing stuff like that.
Oh, that's awesome.
But so anything to do with this hand, but it figures all the things I've had go wrong were with this hand, and that's like, you know, if it was this hand, I wouldn't even care. You know, I wouldn't even have the operation because it's like, you know. But anyways, Scott, thank you for coming all the way up here. I love you, man. You're
love
awesome.
you too, man. Thank you.
Yeah, it's great. Scott White, folks, he's absolutely amazing. Check out Hazard County because, honest to God, they are an incredible country band. Look for Mercury Seed, and hopefully we'll play another show together with the Metal Project. Yeah, it'd be great. Everybody, Jimi Bell here. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.